Hi and welcome to the content video for 1.3 Squares and Cubes from Course 1A Singapore Math. By now you must be pro with 1.1 and 1.2 as you had both content video and independent practice videos to help you. So let's get started with this one. In this chapter, there are three things that you need to understand. So we start with the first. Find the square of a whole number. How do we find square? It's very simple. Let's understand with an example. Let's say we want to find the square of 10. So for finding the square of 10, we will say it's 10 times 10. So it's basically multiplying the number by itself. So it's twice. So 10 times 10, which is 100. Right? So this is the square of 10. We call this as the square because we did 10 times 10. Like the number is multiplied by itself. Since this 10 is a whole number, right? Whole number, we say that this square, that 100 is a perfect square. It's a perfect square. If it was decimal or something, it's not a perfect square. So the square of a whole number is a perfect square. So with this square is done, let's understand how to do cube. For 10, for example, we will say 10 times 10 times 10. So this is thrice. Here it was twice. So this becomes 1000. Okay, so for square, we do only twice. For cube, we do it thrice. And this will be called perfect cube, right? As that was called perfect square, this is a perfect cube because 10 is a whole number. So the logic remains the same. So that's how you do square and cube. That's it. Now when we write numbers as squares and cubes, there's a way to write that. For cube, we would say 10 to the power 3. For square here, we would say 10 to the power 2. Okay? So this 2 and this 3 here, we call it exponent. That power is called the exponent. And this 10 here and this 10 here, we call it base. So it's base there and an exponent there. So these are some terms that you need to understand. And finally, we are here on the third part that says evaluate numerical expressions that contain exponents. Now, you know, these are the exponents here, right? So we have to work with the expressions that have exponents. For that, there is a process, and the process is already listed here. It says evaluate inside parentheses. So first thing, if you have brackets, you have to solve that first. Then evaluate exponents. Then you solve the exponents. Then you multiply and divide from left to right. You go left to right, and after that add and subtract. So first we solve brackets, then we solve exponents, then we do multiplication and division from left to right, and finally we do addition and subtraction from left to right. Well, this is the process and you need to remember this. If you do not follow this step, for example, if you do addition subtraction before doing multiplication and division, you will get wrong answer. So this process is very crucial and you need to follow that to get right answer. So learn this, memorize this. And the best way to learn and memorize this is to practice more questions. As you practice, the brain will make this information for you in your head and you don't have to worry about it. So let's take an example and see how to work. Let's say 7 square times 2 square plus 3 square. Now in this case, we do not have brackets, right? So we are going to do the exponents first. So 7 square is what? 49. So we write 49 times 2 square is 4 plus 3 square is 9. So we have done the exponents now. What's the next one? Multiply and divide, not the addition. If you do this addition here, you will get wrong answer. You have to do multiplication and division first. So we are going to do this multiplication. 49 times 4 is 196. You can multiply and check my answer, and then you write plus 9 as it is. Now, no more multiplication and division left in the expression, right? So, only thing is addition. So, we do that. So, 196 plus 9 gives us 205. So, this is how you solve. Okay, so following these 4 steps is very important. You should learn, as I said. I suggest that when we do independent practice in the next video, you sit with those clue cards, like make clue cards for this or make your flashcards with these rules and keep it in front of you. Or anytime you solve questions on this chapter, keep it in front of you so that you're referring it every time you solve. And that way you do it right and it stays with you because you are repeatedly looking at it, right? Well, this means we're done with this chapter. So only 3 things: square, cube, and this expression. Square, you know, you have to multiply the same number 2 times, and in cube it's 3 times, right? And the expression with this rule, and it's done. I suggest watch this video again, and then we meet in the independent practice soon. Until then, have fun. Goodbye.